Hello and welcome to the Lots of Heart class to go. Today I am going to show you how to make your, whoops, sorry, I think I bumped the camera already. How to make your 5 cards, 2 of each. So when I go through the video, I'll just be making 1 of each, and you guys, of course, will make 2 of each. So at any time you can stop it and then continue if you want. As you all know, we are in the middle of celebration. And I think there might be a couple of you that do not have the mini catalog or the celebration catalog. So I will make sure I tuck them in your packets that are going to go out on Monday. Anyway, without further ado, I think I'll get going on this. So today we are working with the Lots of Heart stamp set and the dies that come with it. And this is what the dies look like. Now I store my dies in a case with a magnetic sheet on here. Of course, yours are going to come in the little plastic envelope that it comes with. So I tried to use quite a few of them. I did not use everything in the cards, and I used words from this set. Sorry about the background noise if you can hear that. That's Zachary, my 3-year-old grandson, howling in the background downstairs. Anyway, I picked this set because it's not such a lovey-dovey type Valentine's set, and I felt like it could be used for lots of different things, and you could send these out to family and friends, which is what we want to do in this time of COVID still, is send out lots of cards. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get started. If you have any questions after you get the video, please make sure you let me know. I will be emailing everything to you. I know for some of you this is new, doing a kit to go like this, and this is the first time I tried it like this. And if you like this concept of a kit to go, then you definitely should try my monthly club. It is very similar. It's $36 a month, and everything's included to make 5 cards, 2 of each. Technically, I think when I still advertise, it says 4 cards, 2 of each, but I've done a bonus card every time since I've started it, so I pretty much rolled it into 5 cards, 2 of each. It ships out on the 20th of the month. We have a private Facebook page that prior to the next month, now coming up for February, I always post a survey out there. They all get to pick what bundle. I post like 4 or 5, 6 different bundles. Everybody votes, and whatever one has the most votes, that's the one we pick for the next month. So coming up for February, we're going to be using the Hey Chick stamp set, and it has a set of dies that goes with it. If you remember a couple years ago, and gosh, it could have been maybe even 3 years ago, I don't even remember exactly. This was one of the celebration items back then. Well, they brought it back, and they brought back, just real quick, I'm going to show you this. They brought back dies to go with it. So these are the dies that go with the Hey Chick bundle. And then we also have a Hey Birthday Chick stamp set and dies. Gosh, now you can probably hear Cooper barking in the background. The time I picked to do my video, all the noise in the world has to go on. Anyway, this is the bundle we are going to use next month for the monthly club. And normally monthly club is a 6-month commitment, but for February, what I'm going to do is open it up for anybody that wants to try it for a month. And then if you like it, then you've got your first month down. And if you don't, you don't have to, come back for the next 5. If you do continue with 6 months, you get, at the end of this, or on the 6th month is usually how I do it, you get to, you get $25 in free product. So there you go. That's well worth it right there. And like I said, we have a private Facebook page that I post all the videos, all the instructions, everything. And usually I'll do some kind of challenges that I post out there and things like that. But anyway, let's get on with the cards. So today you are going to make this fun little flip card just like this. Very simple. I used DSP in color pack, and you're going to make 2 different colors only because we're limited on how many come in each pack, because you get 1 of each color combo. So, and you're in your little packet, you're going to get a little sample of some of the other colors that are in here. So you're going to get 1 of these that has, I think, 6 other sheets of different colors from this pack of paper. Not everybody's going to have the exact same colors, but I kind of went through with some of the ones I had left, and I put them all in a little baggie for you guys. So this one is Pool Party Petal Pink. And the one I'm going to make today is going to be Petal Pink because I started with Pool Party when I made my sample, but you're going to make one of each. So I'm going to put these aside right here. And then I am going to get ready here. And it's pretty simple to make. It's not a difficult card. So as you see on these two, a little different. So this one I put the pearl here. This one I went ahead and die cut that little tiny heart and put it there. So I did include a little piece for each of you of each color so that if you want to do it that way, you certainly can. And when I die cut this little heart and this heart, I'm going to use the new little Stampin' Cut and emboss machine, and I'll show you how that works. So we're going to get started here. So this is normally a 5.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I have cut off 2 inches, if I remember right. So you cut off 2 inches, and that 2-inch strip is right here, and then I cut it down to 4 inches, and then scored it at 3 3/4 inches, because that's going to make that tiny little flap right here. So what we're going to do first is I am going to take this scrap here. This one is going to go here, and it's going to layer with the DSP wherever it went. I thought I just saw it. Ah, there it is. I was going to say, where did it go already? So it's going to layer with that, and real quick, I forgot to grab the Petal Pink ink. Okay, so we're going to layer, this is going to layer on here like this. Let's move that out of the way. So we'll go ahead and start that. This is going to lay in here like this. I always kind of like to lay my pieces out just a little bit so I know what I've got going on here. So let's attach the DSP, and you could use this side if you wanted, because when you stamp your heart, you could use any one of the hearts. You don't necessarily have to use this one. It comes with 3 big hearts, and actually we are going to use all 3 of these on different cards. I didn't end up using that, and I had some ideas with this, but I never got around to it. So anyway, we're going to use all 3 of them on 3 different cards. So you could use a different one if you wanted and use the polka dots there, but I used just the little like chicken scratch background is kind of what it reminds me of. But anyway, we're just going to attach this to this piece of Whisper White, just like this. Nothing difficult here, pretty simple. As long as you can get it on straight. I swear to God, every time I do a video, that this is when I put things together crooked all the time. And then this is going to go on here, just like that. Hopefully everybody's... Today when I'm filming this, it's Saturday afternoon here. Pretty chilly outside, but hopefully everybody's enjoying their weekend. At least it's a nice sunny weekend. So I'm going to just attach that right there, just like that. Then what we're going to do here is I am going to take a little bit stronger adhesive, and you could use mono glue, tear and tape. I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal, or you could use the Stampin' Seal Plus. And I am going to, with my silicone mat, so that it doesn't stick, I'm going to put tape on the inside here like this. And this tape is just a little bit stronger. And the only reason I did it like this is just in case this little flap is going to be getting a lot of use. So you want to make sure it sticks really well. And then you have to decide like where you want your flap. Do you want it in the middle? Do you want it up here? Do you want it down here? I'm going to probably put it like about right there. So I'm just going to take this, let's make sure I'm in the camera here, slide it up right here. I can't see what I'm doing on the video. Haven't found a program yet that I can use with an Android. Well, I haven't spent a lot of time looking at it either. So now that glue that's right there, always remember you can take one of your little magic erasers and erase all of that right there. and get rid of that extra tape. I used the Stampin' Seal Plus, so a little bit of it hung over there. So we're just going to get that off there, just like that. I don't edit my videos, so what you see is what goes on. I just haven't spent the time to figure out how to do it. Before COVID, I wasn't doing videos. I was doing in-person classes, so that was a big switch for me as it was, just to start doing videos. Okay, this is like, should not be happening here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to have that little flap right there. And then we're going to tape this down just like that. Okay, so now we're going to run tape. And normally when I tape my insides, I don't tape all the way around, but because of the flap on this one, I would tape this one all the way around. Normally my insides, I only tape top and bottom. Okay, then we're just going to stick this in here like this. Just like that. Now, we're going to stamp. I picked the Scent with Lots of Heart sentiment to stamp down here at the bottom. If you wanted to turn it into a thank you card or any other phrase you wanted, you could stamp down here. You just want to make sure you're going to do two things. You're going to stamp your heart out of here. And it's this heart right here is the one I chose to use. Like I said, you could use a different one if you wanted. I'm going to turn it just a little bit because I know it'll fit this way. I'm going to press down really good just because it's a checkered. It kind of, I don't want it to stamp wonky. Okay, and then I'm going to take the Scent with Lots of Heart. I like that sentiment. And I'm going to put it right down here in the corner. Just like that. It's a little light right there, but I probably need to ink up my stamp pad. And then I'm going to bring in my little handy dandy mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And if you haven't seen these are awesome. It's perfect to have sitting right here on your desk. And then I'm going to get the die cut for this one. And make sure I have the right one. And I'll show you the difference here real quick. So on these two hearts, they are very similar. They do layer if you want to layer, but one of them is going to just die cut around the edge. The other one, and it's probably hard to see on here, it's got two. It's going to die cut this and this. So it's going to die cut two, an outer and then a layer around the outside. And you'll see, because on the 4th and 5th card, they kind of coincide together. We did use this, and you'll see how it die cuts there. So for this one, we're going to use this die cut right here. And I'm going to get my pads out right here. So we're going to put our cutting plate down. Number 1. This nice thing about these new ones is they're all numbered. There's number 1, number 2, and this is for die cutting. Not embossing. It will emboss the smaller ones. The half embossing plates or embossing folders that they've come out with. The little tiny ones fit in here too. So we're going to slide that in just like that. I'm going to stand up here to run this through. Let's see where I'm at in my camera. Just real quick. We're going to run this through just like this. Bring it back out. And there we go. We have our little heart die cut. And then I'm just going to fold this up and move it out of the way. Okay, there we have this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pop this up with pop dots and attach. But I'm going to attach it here first, just like this. This is one of my favorite fun folds to do because it's really quick and easy. And that strip you cut off of it, you can turn it right around and put it right here. And you could use this with so many different cards. I've done so many cards with this little fun fold. Probably people are getting tired of it, actually. And I'm going to pop this up right there, just like that. Now, remember when you're adding your pop dots, you're not going to add them all the way. So I'm going to kind of come across just like this and add them just because this has to open up. You don't want to glue this down right here. So you're only going to put your pop dots like right here. So we're going to pop dots. Can you believe I'm calling them pop dots? Dimensionals. Pop dots. That's like a Michael's term probably. I don't know. I don't even have any anymore. I've kind of finally used up any old stuff that I had like that. So you're going to put dimensionals right here. And like I said, I'm going to go back over here and just make sure where I'm at. Yep, that should work. So we're going to pop the tape off. Normally I use the little minis, but I had a package of these left, so I've been cutting them down. But you guys are all getting a pack or a sheet of minis included in your kit, so you should have plenty for all the cards. So now we're going to just lay this here, just like that. And then I'm going to take that tiny little scrap, and I am going to die cut. I should have done this when I had it out. That little tiny heart, and it is this little guy right here. We're just going to die cut one of those. That's why I say, see how easy this machine is to use just for little things like this. So quick and easy to use. I love it. I love having it sitting at my desk. Now my desk is, well, my desk where I film at. This isn't where when I'm stamping, it's right to the left of me, but I'm in the process of, we're kind of under construction at our house, so I'm in the process of getting a new craft studio. So when that gets all set up, I'll probably have an area that'll be set up designated just for videos, and it'll be much easier for me. Right now I kind of have to move stuff around. So I put the heart right there, and then I'm going to add a little pearl, and everybody got a half sheet of pearls. So you can pick whatever size you want. This time I'm going to put a little one right there. And if you wanted to add more pearls someplace else, you certainly could. But there's the first one. And remember, you're going to make one of each color. Quick and easy. What do you think? First one down. Okay. Set that aside. And card number 2. So card number 2, I went with the Magenta Madness. And this color is really bright, but when you tone it down a little bit like I did here, I thought it turned out really pretty. And I'm not really a pink person, but I do like it. And for the right person, it'd be perfect to send to them. And this one, I didn't stamp anything on the outside, but you certainly could. If you wanted to stamp something in that little tiny heart right there, you could. So what you're going to do is die cut. You have 2 of these you're going to die cut. One is going to be die cut out of the center of the basic black layer. I'm one to always use the center of your layers if you can. And if you're not using something out of here for the card you're making, you should die cut a rectangle or a circle or an oval or something out of there that you could use later. Or even if you're just using it for scrap out of something, it's perfect. But if you can, when you're layering stuff, I usually will always die cut out of the center of the layer. So we're going to die cut that square out of that one. I already did it, so I wouldn't have to get up and go to the die cut machine because those bigger ones or the bigger pieces of paper don't fit through here. It's only 3 inches. But then we're going to take this little guy right here, and we're going to take this little guy, and you're going to layer them together so that you get this will die cut it out, because this will die cut the outside shape. So we're going to lay it down just like this. Scoot this up a little for you. And we're going to put it on here just like this, and I'm going to slide it down. Line it up. Put the cover on. Slide it through. Now this little guy, can't remember how much he is. I want to say he's like $59 or right at 60. I just know that you could get a celebration item if you were to get this little guy. Or if right now, you know, if your wish list is really long, or even if it's only around $100, you should sign up. There's a great deal going on right now. You get 5, besides the fact that it's only $99 and you get $125 worth of product. Right now during celebration, you also get 5 packs of DSP paper, 6x6 packs of DSP paper, and I will show you before the end, free with it. And that's like a $60 value right there. So, and you don't have to stick with it. You could just get the kit, get all your freebie, you know, your $125 worth of product for the $99, and you could quit. There's no questions asked. They don't care. They don't push you to stay if you don't want to stay. Okay, so what we're going to do is I started half of the heart right along the bottom, just like this. Started at the half, then I did a whole one, half. Hopefully it lines up the same this time as I go, and then I did just the opposite up there. So 3 across there, and then 2, well, 3 across the bottom too. It's just 2 halves. If you wanted to do the whole top layer, you could, but I didn't. I did it just like that. So, keeping our fingers crossed. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to start at the half. Stamp 1. Two, 3, and of course it didn't, pretty close to the half. There's that one. And then I'm going to go right here just like this. 1, 2, and that one. 3. Perfect. And then what I did is I took a blending brush and I lightly, because this is pretty bright, you're really going to start off, and I went around the whole thing and just added a little bit around the edges. I love to use the blending brushes, and we now have new ones. We have Stampin' Up! Blending brushes that look like this, which I have some of these too, but this was the last clean one I had. So these are awesome. And I actually included a couple of these in January's monthly club. They got product. In the monthly club also, you always get about $15 to $25 worth of product with your monthly club. So every month you get product with it. Depends on what bundle we're using, or what cards I come up with on what you get with it. So, okay. So now what we're going to do, this goes on the inside. So if you wanted to, you could take, here, I'm going to get this back out. You could take your heart stamp right here. You could stamp along the bottom if you wanted, but I think I'm just going to put a little heart right there in the corner of it. And that's going to be my inside piece. And yes, let's go for a second. I thought I stamped it the wrong way. So that's going to go on the inside. Now, I don't usually stamp phrases on the inside unless I know exactly what I'm going to use it for at the time I'm making it. But since I'm not sure what this will be used for, I keep them blank. And then I have them ready for when I want to use them. So now we're going to add our ribbon. And I always, when I'm adding ribbon, I go around, I put my tape, and then I add ribbon. And you'll see just my way of adding ribbon, not right or wrong. I know everybody does it different. So we're going to go around just like this. I cut this piece off. I don't tie my little knot on the front until I'm done because I don't like having the little bulkiness of it when I'm putting my layers together, but that's just my choice. Then we're going to layer this on top of here. Just like this. And then we'll layer this onto the card front. Just like this. That goes on here. And then all I did is layered these two right here with pop dots. So we're going to tape this down like this. I'll add a little tape right there. And I'm just going to layer it like this. And then we're going to add dimensionals. Why all of a sudden I keep calling them pop dots? We were talking about pop dots at my Zoom class on Saturday. And anyway, I'm not sure why I keep calling them that. So we're just going to add dimensionals onto here. And you could have stamped, well, what was on here? Do they have hello? No, they have thank you. If you have, which most of you all are seasoned stampers, so you have lots of words, but you could easily have stamped like hello or something like that in the center if you didn't want to use this for necessarily a Valentine type card. Okay, come on. Usually these pop off real easy. Okay, there we go. And I just popped this up in the center right here. Just like that. And then you're going to tie the rest of your ribbon right here. Just like that. And I'm going to trim these off here. And that's card number 2. There you go. Okay. Now, for card number 3, we are going to be doing a little bit of watercoloring. So I'm going to kind of clean this off a little bit. And I'm going to show you here. And I'm going to show you how to make this background here. I already have some pre-made, so we don't have to let it dry. But I'm going to show you. Oops, that's going to go in there. I'm going to show you how I did it. And then... so you'll know how. And every one of these backgrounds is going to be a little bit different. The one I'm going to stamp on today is going to be a little bit different. So let me get, grab my mat here. Now these are the ones that I did earlier, and they're not quite dry. And I have a dry one that I did a different day. This is the one I'm going to stamp on today. And like I said, each one turns out different, but I'm going to show you how I did them. And of course, there's probably 100 million different ways you can add ink to paper and with watercolor like this. This is just how I did it. It's an easy way to make backgrounds. And I gave you 4 pieces of the shimmer white, cut at 3 3/4 by 5. So you can make 4 backgrounds, and then you'll have 2 extra. Yes, you'll have 2 extra. To make others with, or something else with. Use them down the line. We've used these kind of backgrounds in monthly club several times. So I'm going to get them out here. So I have 4 of them. I'm going to go ahead and do 4 again. Maybe I'll only do 2. We'll see. And you're going to use, I used Seaside Spray and Balmy Blue. Excuse me. And if you have refills, have them sitting out just in case, because sometimes I use those. I have a clear block. I have a water bottle for a spritzer. Excuse me. And I have, let me get a drink of tea real quick. And I have our new water painters. Ours are really cool because you get a really wide brush, you get a tiny thin brush, and then the standard size. So it's nice that you, or sorry, here's the little tiny one. So it's nice you have different options with these, that all three of them come together. So these are really cool. And we're probably going to use the thick one. Oh, now my throat's really dry. Okay. What I did first is I took my pad and I stamped it right on my craft mat here, just like this. And I took the Seaside spray first. Set that aside. I'm going to move these a little bit. Okay. And then I kind of went in random places and did the Balmy Blue. And then we're going to add some water here. You just want to make sure you don't get it in your ink pad. And then I take my piece of shimmery white, and you could use watercolor paper if you wanted. I tend to stamp almost like 90% of the time on the shimmery white. I like how it stamps. I like how it watercolors. I like how the Stampin' Blends work on it. It's just my preference. But when you're doing watercolor, I always spritz both sides just a little bit. And the reason you do both sides is so it less chance of warping. And then all you're going to do is just kind of like dip this in here, just like that, until you get what you want. So there's, I would set that aside and then watch it to see what it does, to see if I like how it looks. Now, if you start to see pooling on the sides, you would dab it with your paper towel. Now, the reason I do like 3 or 4 at a time is because look at all this ink you have right here. Gosh, let's not waste it. Now, here's where if you wanted to go back and like, if you don't want any white spots, you could go add it. Or if you want to add a little bit more ink to it, you certainly could. But I'm going to leave that one as is. So now this one, I'm going to spritz. And then I'm going to kind of do the same thing. And then I'm going to take my brush here and just add a little bit more. Now, we can do this. You can kind of, it's just so forgiving on different ways you can do this. Now, sometimes what I will do is take I use my block as my palette, and I might have these two sitting right here. And I might take, so let me grab another one, because I'm going to leave that one. I kind of like that, just that little bit. And I might take this and just do this in a few places. And I might take the block and pick up more ink. Now I could set this right here. I wanted you guys to I want to make sure it's in the camera. Okay, it is. And I'm going to drop a little bit of ink on here. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to any of this. There you have the third one. And right now, it doesn't look like it's really going to be much, but when you go to use it, it will be. And you can take your little blocks. You can add what's left on here. And I'm going to kind of use this last one to clean up what's left. And then, like I said, you can go back, add a little bit more, just like that. Now, if you have pooling, which I didn't because I didn't soak my area, if you're one that really gets your area wet, if you end up with pooling on these, just dab them with your paper towel, like I had a little bit in the center of that one. This one does not. Now, to stamp on them, you can either, I'm going to put mine aside because I have one already dried and I don't want you to have to listen to my embossing gun dry it. You can dry them with the embossing gun, or you can just set it as, you could do a whole bunch of these and set them aside to dry and then do them later. Or you could, with today's video, if you don't want to use the embossing gun to dry them, you could put these aside to dry and then move on to the other cards and then come back to these at the end. But like I said, you can hit them with the embossing gun too. Okay, now here's the one I'm going to use, now that you've got yours already. And then again, here's what the card looks like. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to stamp with Seaside Spray, and you could stamp with Balmy Blue. Now if you don't have these colors, you could do other blues. It doesn't matter. I just want to make sure I know how dark this is going to stamp this time. Perfect. Okay. And I stamped right down here in the corner. You certainly could do it different. Stamp anywhere you want. And you could stamp more than once. I kind of like it just like that. And again, stamp on the inside. And if you're one that likes to decorate your envelopes, heck, stamp a heart on the outside too. So I'm going to do this one like right down like that. There we go. There's going to be my inside. Now, these little tiny hearts right here, these are these, and it's from this piece right here that you have with your die cuts. Normally, in a class like this, I will, or in all my classes, I usually die cut and punch like anything that's out of the center or anything that comes with it, because sometimes I don't know if everybody's got the bundle, or if they didn't, you know, maybe they didn't want it and they're going to use other stamps that they have, which a lot of people do sometimes, is they do, especially with Monthly Club. A lot of them don't get the bundle that goes with it. They'll improvise with what they have. That class, Monthly Club, I always die cut or punch anything that goes with it. The reason I didn't do it this time is, one, everybody got the bundle, so I knew you all had it. So I like it when you guys can use what you have, and I'm providing everything with it. So you'll be able to die cut these yourself, and then you're going to get all these tiny little hearts that come with it. And and these are 3 that I use, so I'm not going to die cut another one. But you did get 2 strips of this, but you'll have plenty if you don't want to use the second strip, because die cutting one of these for all of these, unless you put a whole bunch on each one, you'll have plenty. So you'll have an extra strip of the shimmery white to use for something else if you want. So we are going to close this up before I get ink everywhere, and close this one up. And then all we're going to do is assemble here. So we're going to just take this. I don't have my bone folder right here, but that works. And normally I would have die cut something out of the center, even if I wasn't using it right now, I still would have. But this is what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to add some little hearts to it. And now on this one, I only put the tiny little pearl down here, but you certainly could put more. And you want to stamp your sentiment down here in the corner. So I am going to stamp, make sure it's clean, with the Seaside Spray again. And I'm going to use that same sentiment because I like it. I kind of stuck with this sentiment myself, but certainly. And I'm just going to put it right down here along the bottom. Just like that. And then I'm going to add, now you have one long strip of the twine. See, this was the back side of it. I probably flipped it and used both sides. I could have used either one. And honestly, the reason you see a little bit of green on here too is when I made these, my mat wasn't completely clean, and I picked up color that was sitting on there from before, which sometimes works. You have to take what you get sometimes, but I flipped it and then reused the other side. So your white baker's twine is going to be in one long piece. I had already cut mine down. Now I added 3 strips along here, and you should have enough to do that. If not, you could do just 2. Or you can do 1, or you don't have to do any if you don't want to. I always tell everybody it's not written in stone that you have to do these exactly like I do them. And share what you come up with. If yours are different, heck, go post them on my Facebook page. And if you don't follow my Facebook page, you need to follow my Facebook page, Craftier Creations with Debbie. Please go out there. I post all kinds of stuff out there. Post when I have classes. I post when there's sales. Post ideas. I post my monthly. Every month I've been trying to come up with either a card sketch or a color combo sketch or something to do for the month. And you never know if I'm going to give free stuff away. Been known to do that. And don't forget, out there, I had posted also for January. I was a little late in getting this out there, but if you want to be in my birthday club, and it doesn't require anything from you except for letting me know that, yes, you want to be and when your birthday is. And every month I'm going to send out birthday cards. On the 25th, I'm going to send out birthday cards to everybody for that month. Now, when you alter paper, it might take a little more adhesive to hold it down. I should have put a little bit more in the center, and I may have to go back and add a little, because like I noticed on this one, it's popping up, but part of that is where the baker's twine. And I would just go back and either add a glue dot right there or just put a little bit of mono glue in the corner, and it'll be fine. So there's that. And then I'm going to take my little piece here and I'm going to tie it right here. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a couple of these, and I used mono glue, and I liked the outer circles, but you could use the solid ones if you wanted to. Well, I might use one of those. And you could have actually die cut these first and dipped them in your watercolor ink you had going on. If you wanted to alter them a little bit, that would have worked too. I didn't even really think about that till right this second. Again, I use my silicone mat when I'm doing stuff like this because everything lifts right up off of it. I'm going to put that one right here. Just like that. I'm going to put this one, I think I'm going to put it right over here, right there. Now, I myself, I work in odd numbers when I'm putting things down, but you certainly don't have to. It's just something it's kind of like planting plants. You tend to plant in 3s, 5s. I kind of do the same with stamping, but that's just me. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's just how I do it. You could put 5, 10 on there. Put as many as you want. Now, if you wanted to, you could go add, we're going to add one little bling, or I added one little bling down here in the corner. We'll put a bit this size down this time. But you could add more. Like, I think I'll put one right there. And I'm going to put one, because sometimes it looks really cute just to plop some bling around it. Just like that. So here was the first one, and here was the one today. Cute, huh? Not a typical Valentine card. Oh, and here's your center. So this will go on the inside. That will go in there. Cute. Not necessarily your typical Valentine card, but I don't usually necessarily do typical. However, I did go to a red, but I wanted to use some of the, oh, what is that DSP called? Just a second. It's the True Love DSP. And I am actually going to be doing a One Sheet Wonder class on this one next month in a kit to go. And we're going to be using the Many Messages die cut set. So that we're going to be using that DSP and this stamp set that has one die cut that die cuts all of these out. It's I have to say I was on the fence about it, and I'm so glad I got it, because when it die cuts words out, it looks just like this. So you die cut them all out, and then I just keep them in this little container, and if I need a phrase, it's perfect. You know, I could pick one out and put this, hooray, it's your birthday, or whatever you wanted. But that's going to be next month, where we're using this whole pack of, you're going to get a half a pack of 6x12 DSP, along with many other things in there. But I decided to throw some in with this card. So the last two cards are kind of coincide together, and I'll show you really quick. So here's going to be the other one. So what we cut out of the center of this DSP, we're using over here on this card. So what we're going to do, and you got two different backgrounds from this paper, and that's because I didn't have enough for everybody, because my order didn't come in for more of this paper yet. So you're going to die cut this heart right here. It's the one that cuts a single out of the two pieces of DSP. And then you'll set those aside, because you're going to use that on the next card. And then you're going to, out of a piece of your, I don't see it in here, but I know you guys have a piece, but it might be in the other packet. I'm going to make sure, because I already die cut mine. You have a piece of Real Red. I know you have it in your packet, but I'll double check them. And you're going to die cut this heart and the one that layers inside of it, which is this one, out of that piece of Real Red that's in your packet. And then you come up with this. This is going to end up to be extra, so you can use it like on the inside of your card or someplace else. And for some reason I have two of them here. So you're going to die cut these two layers out of that Real Red piece, and then you're going to end up with this, and then you have one little heart that's extra that you can set aside. And then that same heart is what you will die cut here. So what I did is just die cut this out of here. Okay, just like that. And then this is going to layer on here. And you're going to poke all this little stuff out. And it die cuts really nice, I have to say. This was, because sometimes you don't know for sure how some of these die cuts will work. But yes, it die cut really nice. Okay, so I am going to layer this down on here first. Now I embossed your Real Red piece with the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. And then we're going to get out our silicone mat again. If you don't have a silicone mat, you should get one, because it helps prevent getting glue on your paper right here. And I'm going to use the mono glue again, and I'm just going to go around this whole thing just like this. And I see one I missed right here. I'll get that one out of the way. And then I'm going to lay this down, and I'm going to line it up on here. Now when you go to die cut this, make sure you don't come too far down here, as you see I did. And the nice thing about using as mono glue is you have a little bit of wiggle room. Now see, I almost came down too far there. So make sure you go up just, well, I mean, you don't have to. It's fine the way it is, because you still have room. It's not going to hang off the page, but you don't want to come down too far. I could have gone up just a little bit further. Cute. It's cute already. And then we're just going to attach this to this. Now, for attaching this, I used the foam strips, and you're going to get a whole pack of, one sheet of foam to stick on here. If you don't like popping it up right there, you certainly do not have to. So what I'm going to do first is tape this down here. Just like this. And then I'm going to get my piece of foam, and I'm going to show you. You could use the backside if you wanted to. I didn't like the backside as well for this. You're going to have a whole sheet I've already cut off here. And what I did is just started cutting. Hang on, this is crooked. Said I do real-time videos here. I don't edit it out. And okay, there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, and I didn't cut them that wide, you know, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And it's not even straight, but I don't care. And I'm going to start with the corner here, and then I'm just going to work my way around the whole thing. And then I'm going to end up putting a few little strips right around the heart so it doesn't sag right there. So I'm going to come around just like this. See if that's skinny enough right there. Don't want to see it through the other side. And I have, it's a little bit too long, so all I'm going to do is cut that off right there. And I'm going to use that little piece for right there, just like that. Come down along this side. Oh, perfect. And then I'll cut a couple little pieces like this. So I'm going to go like this with it, just so I get some right around the heart. So we pop that up a little bit. And if you wanted, you could use dimensionals around the heart. I'm just going to put a piece right there. Piece down there. And I'll probably put one over here. Just like that. And I'm going to just stick this little scrap right there, only because I don't want it to sag right there. It's just me. I'm going to take all these off, and then we'll layer it right on top of that real red that was embossed with the Tasteful Textile. Now, I pre-embossed that for you. If you didn't have the Tasteful Textile, you could emboss with the Subtle embossing folder would be really nice too. Those are my go-to. The Subtle and the Tasteful Textile one have been my go-to embossing folders here lately. They just add a really nice subtle background. Okay, just pop that on here just like that. Now what I did is then added some pearls. Now I want to show you something really quick, if I can find that little heart I cut out. Oh, here it is. So I had thought about, and you can always go back and do this if you want, I had thought about die cutting this little heart and sticking it in there, but I wasn't quite sure. I just couldn't make up my mind, so I didn't do it. But if you wanted, you certainly could, especially with this paper. It certainly does change the effect of it. So you could do that if you wanted. And if you wanted, you can also put a little sentiment right here in the center if you wanted. That would work too. Now, I don't know how the pearls are going to look on this paper, but we're going to find out. And maybe I'll stick them down in here. So let's see. Oh, they'll be fine. They'll pop right up. Going to put one there. And I just place some random places. I think I will stick one in the center, just what the heck. there you go. There's the 2 cards with this DSP. What do you think? Cute. I think they turned out cute. I wasn't sure about this paper. There's some really cute papers in that pack. Like I said, we're going to do a one sheet wonder with this. So join me for that next month. Anyway, there's that one. There's the 4th card. Now the 5th card is this one here. Let's get my mess off of here. So this one, and I kind of messed up on a couple things, but I'm going to include paper for the fix. So I pre-embossed this for you because on this card here, I did emboss the background and I pre-embossed all of your backgrounds. And I realized, well, that's not going to work because you have to stamp your sentiment. And sometimes stamping a sentiment once it's embossed doesn't work. But we're going to find out because I'm going to try it right here for you guys. Oh, except mine isn't embossed. Well, I'm going to emboss it and try it. Sometimes you can do it if you have the Stamparatus and you can make it work, but we're going to see how it works. So out of the center, so here's this. Now, remember the die I showed you that cuts this one here that has a ridge here and a ridge on the outside? This is what it cuts, is right here. So this fits here in the inside of this, and then it cuts this outside piece. Well, actually it's this one. These are embossed. So it's these 2 right here. And what I did is glued this to the outside there. That's why this extra piece, first I was thinking we could use that, but then when I came up with the idea to put the red around it, then you ended up with 2 anyway, so that, and if you wanted to put 3 hearts on your card, you could do it that way. So you're going to have this piece right here that I pre-embossed that you're going to cut these 2 out of, or cut this out of. And then you're going to end up with these 2 pieces right here. And again, we're going to use the silicone mat. And I'm going to glue this down here. Just like that. Mono glue around it. And again, I use mono glue. It's much easier. I mean, if you're using your silicone mat, you could certainly use tape, but then you'd have to kind of tip up your edges. And then we're just going to put this around here and line it up going around the whole heart. Just like that. And now you've got that right there. Set that aside. Now, real quick, I'm going to run and emboss this because I'm going to try the stamping with it embossed the way you're going to get it. So give me just a minute. Okay, so your piece is embossed just like this. And what I'm going to do, and again, I use the same sentiment. I use that scent with lots of heart. Now, I'm going to try this. And if you have the Stamparatus, I know for sure it would work then because you would be able to stamp again. But just in case you don't have the Stamparatus, I'm going to try it this way. And if it doesn't work, remember, 2 sides to every piece of paper. And I'm going to stamp it right here. And I use the Memento Black. Just going to make sure. I've got a little bit of smearing right there. So I'm going to turn that over. And it could have been because I pressed too hard on here. And I'm going to try it again. It's hard because I don't want to put my head in the camera, but I'm going to. Sorry. You see my gray hairs? There. And I must have, oh, I see. I have a little bit of fuzzy there. I'm going to go with it anyway. There was a little fuzzy thing on there. But I'm going to make it work for this. I'm not going to sweat the small stuff, as we say. Okay. Now, this is going to layer. First, what we're going to do is add our ribbon across the top. Now I went back and added paper that wasn't embossed to your packets, so you have both. So you can try it, and if stamping on the embossed piece doesn't work, then you have a Whisper White piece that is plain, and then you can either stamp your phrase and then go back and emboss it. And if you don't have the Tasteful Textile, use the subtle. If you don't have the subtle, maybe you have one of the heart ones that we had from previous years. Those would work too. Or you can leave it plain. That's going to go there. I don't need both of those. This is going to go on top here. And again, I would have die cut something out of the center of this normally. And I used to do it for all the monthly club, all my clubs and Zoom classes, everything. I used to always die cut out of the center, but I've kind of stopped doing it just because of time. It's taking way too much time for me to do it now, and I'm the only person. I'm a one-man show here. So time was becoming an issue with that. Now I glued this, or taped this one down, and then I popped this one up with dimensionals. And then you're going to have a little tiny scrap, and I'm going to use like something like this, that I went and die cut that little tiny heart out with again. And I put that down in the corner there. So we're going to die cut a little tiny heart. With my little tiny machine. That's awesome. I'm telling you, if you don't have one of these little ones, you need to get one. They're perfect. My reason to get it at first was we have a fifth wheel that we use all summer long, and I usually take my work with me. For Drew, it's always a get away from work. For me, I take it with me because I usually have instructions to type up, or I always have stuff to do, but I figured it would be great for in our trailer. So eventually mine might go in the fifth wheel, and maybe I'll have to get another one. I don't know. It's winter, so we're not using it right now. Although we're going to be pretty soon, because we're going to be living in it for a few months while we finish remodeling. So some of you probably haven't heard, but we are, my oldest son and daughter-in-law live next door in the mother-in-law apartment house, whatever you want to call it. And we are in the process of remodeling over there because Drew and I are going to move over there, and they are going to move into our house. We sold our house to them, and they are going to remodel some stuff here. So eventually, in between the two, we are going to be living in our fifth wheel for a little bit. Hopefully not very many months. But we're trying to finish craft room first, because I have to have a place to work. So anyway, that's what's happening at our house. We've been under construction for a while, so it's not any fun. Anyway, we'll get through it. It'll work. Okay, dimensionals attached. Some of these don't want to come off. Okay, did I get that one? And one more here. And then I kind of tipped this one off to the side like that, just like that. And then we have our tiny little heart right here that we'll put one little dimensional behind it. And these just barely, well, you guys have small ones. I'm going to cut this down a little bit. Like I said, I usually use the minis all the time. But I had this packet left, so. But you guys are getting the minis, so it'll fit perfect. And then I'm going to put a little pearl I thought the little heart was perfect. And you could always, man, you could put these all over if you wanted. Or you could use some of these other little hearts too. I mean, if you wanted, you could put one of these right there too. That's cute. Actually, with this one, I might do that. Look at me. It was just laying there, and I thought, oh, that might be cute on the inside of that. So, see, there you go. You have extra ways to use those little hearts. And I might still put a pearl on top of it. I don't know. We'll see here. There you go. Just like that. And like I said, you still could add pearls if you wanted to. And then you'll take your extra piece. Now mine is really long because this is all that was left on the roll. I had just enough to do everybody's cards and enough to finish my sample off here. Otherwise I would have had to just use real red, which would have been fine, but there you go. Last card. So this was all 5 of our cards. I'm going to pull them all back out here real quick. So there was those 2. And then here was these 2 that we got that from. Here's our watercolor card. Our Wild Magenta Madness. And then our Pool Party and our Petal Pink. I hope everybody enjoyed this project, or all of these projects. And remember, if you like doing this, then you might want to try Monthly Club, because it is very similar. And like I said, we also voted already. It's going to be the Hey Chick bundle for the Monthly Club. So if you want to try it, that'd be a perfect month. And you'll get the, if you already have the stamp set, all you'd have to do is buy the die cuts if you want those. But if you don't, you don't have to. Never pressure. Anyway, what else? Oh, I was going to show you what you get if you sign up. You get these 5 packs of paper, and these are going to be coming out in the new annual catalog in May. So these are all the brights, neutrals, regals, subtles, and the 2020, 2022 in color packets. And this is going to be the new designs for next year's catalog. So they're all the same design. They're just all the color palettes. So it's going to be this type of design versus right now this year we have that like chicken scratch in the dots, but it's going to go to this on this side, and then this side is this, and you get all of these papers. So this is like $60 worth of paper. It's like $59.50 maybe, but you get all of this. So for the $125, or for the $99, $99 plus tax, you get free shipping. So it's $99 plus tax, you get free shipping. You could join my team. No pressure, but we have a lot of fun. It's all via Zoom, but we have a lot of fun. Anyway, thank you so much for taking this class. I hope you all enjoy it, and let me know if you have any questions. I will talk to you all later. Bye.